Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Brandon from Audio Addiction. We're back with another K-pop stream, baby. We're gonna be taking a listen to Everglow, a long-awaited one that I feel like everybody has been extra excited for. I'm obviously joined by Alex again. So, Alex, thanks for coming back. It's been a little bit. Took a little bit of a break.
Did take a little bit of a break. It's been very patiently waiting for this day for the Everglow comeback.
Yes, I know
Thank you for having me on again.
You're pretty excited. We have 7 songs. We're gonna go through all the main MVs. We'll see if whether or not I don't know how extensive their catalog is. I assume that the 7 are pretty much the top ones, obviously. But I'm excited to delve into this group. There's a few other groups that we are going to be hitting after this as well. But Everglow seemed to be the next one that we wanted to do. We did hear about Purple Kiss, so we'll plan on doing that. I think Alex and I talked about it. They do have a new release coming next month in September, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll be doing them
right.
later. So very exciting. I have not listened to any of the new stuff. I have not listened to any of Everglow stuff, so we are going into this hot and fresh, So I'm very excited. The first song, it looks like it is in Korean, but it says Bon Chocolat. Is that the name of the song?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you have anything else to add, but I think we should maybe hop into it. What do you think?
No, I'll just give you like the quick rundown.
Okay.
We're not gonna do any lore or anything like that, but I'll just let you know. Like, they debuted 2019.
Okay, so they're newer.
They're a 6-member girl group from Yehua Entertainment. Their members are Yurin, Aisha, Shihyun, Mia, Anda, and EU.
Nice.
And that's probably all we need to know for now. We can talk about them more as we go through the videos if we need to.
All right, sounds good. Well, we're gonna start off with the first one, guys. This one is Bon Chocolat, so let's give it a listen.
Everglow.
This is hype already. That low sub bass is wild.
To the sky.
Ooh, okay.
Bon Chocolat. 긴장해야 할 거야. 꽃다발의 그걸 네가 만들기 전 작은 내게로 dat처럼 그려왔잖아 매일 밤. 에이, 달콤한 너의 꿈을 always. 끝이 어떤 터널 끝에 숨겨둔 너를 위한 세상을 기대해. 저 눈이 부신 빛을 따라서 더 높이 날아볼 baby. 그게 너야 babe. 이 순간을 기다리 심장이 쿵쿵 떨림을 더 크게 외쳐세.
The synths and stuff is so great in this track.
준비가 됐어. Everything, everything, you gotta want my everything, 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 you gotta want my everything. 잠든 날 깨우는 빛, Bon Chocolat, go up to the sky. Bon Chocolat. 느껴진 이 달콤한 꿈처럼 더 아름다운
Cool vocal layering. I like that. Clean cut. That was awesome. Like the little beat switch up. All right. All right. Well, if you're tuning in, this was the first song from Everglow, Bon Chocolate. So,
First impressions, what do you think?
going through a lot of these K-pop groups, it's been very interesting to see which ones have been doing, the group for the longest period of time. Obviously, Dreamcatcher being kind of my foray more so into doing these live. I would say Twice as well, because they've both been bands that have, I'm saying bands, but I actually mean groups that have been doing it for a very long time. So for this group to be doing it since 2019, you can kind of tell that like there's a higher production value in terms of not only the music video, but also as well as the musicality of it. This one definitely felt a little bit more like trap and like more, I would say, like hip hop kind of inspired in that way. Like some of the way that the sub bass kind of made its way throughout the song. I think there's like less, like, I want to say fluff because that's really not the right word, but there's less like melodic things going on. It's more or less, I think it's more about, from what I could gather, more choreo related, where like I feel like the beats kind of sync up better with the choreo, where like some of the ways that like the camera transitions or the way that they do cuts, it feels very intentional in the way that the song is written and the way that kind of the music video is produced. So I do feel like those kind of work in tandem, and I would say arguably out of the groups that I've seen, I would argue this, to me personally, might have been the best execution of like song to like music video in terms of like synchrony kind of a way. Like I think there's just this really interesting way how they kind of cut the music video up, and I'm excited to see how different they get, because I feel like with every group that we've kind of listened to, there's been different things that like over the years they've kind of done, like each group has kind of done differently or maybe gone out and tried like a different sound. So I'm curious if this is going to be a same situation where this may be for like one quote unquote season, and then the next thing is going to be arguably a little bit different. So I don't know if that's my take on it. I'd argue.
Yeah, I won't spoil anything, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah, something interesting about Everglow is this is a very different song for a debut.
I would say, yeah.
Something that stood out a lot to a lot of people was, I guess, one, how you mentioned like they sort of went for like the trap kind of style beat, but also the heavy use of auto-tune.
Yes, I also noticed that as well, yeah.
Where they did get some criticism for it, but I think the general consensus is where I'm at is they used it really stylistically, and it sounds cool.
I would agree, yeah.
Obviously, you'll find out as we listen to more songs, it's not like a Everglow can't sing kind of thing, you know what I mean? Similar to how Passcode uses their autotune stylistically.
I would probably also liken it to like T-Pain as well, like I think T-Pain is a phenomenal singer, but obviously he uses a lot of autotune in his music.
Yeah, and this is super uncommon for K-pop to hear in like K-pop groups, especially for like a title track or a debut track. It's very interesting to hear a group doing that, making that. It's a pretty bold choice, you
I
know.
would agree. Yeah.
But I think it made them stand out, and I think it was a cool addition to the song. Like you said, the song's a little. It's kind of just a trap song, you know. It has a drop, build up,
Mm-hmm.
drop, build up, bridge. They do a good job of switching the beat up, especially at the end where they kind of give it like a double time sort of club
Correct. Yeah.
feel for a couple bars. But for the most part, I think the autotune adds a lot of character and a lot of variation and stuff to the beat, especially during the bridge when I think it's Mia. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not exactly sure who was doing the vocal runs, but they put a super hard autotune filter on
I
that
would agree. Yeah.
and they didn't need to do that. You know what I mean? She's a great singer. Several of the members are great singers. They don't need that. So to put that emphasis on there and to have that like really like jarring autotune shift, I think was just a really cool decision to make for the song.
Yeah, I think it's. I think they kind of, and comment on what Izzy said earlier. We're excited for you to join us for Purple Kiss, and she also said it's Mia as well
It is
in the
Mia.
bridge.
Cool.
But I think that for me, like, this has been like arguably, I would say, the most tame K-pop song that I've listened to since I've kind of been more acclimated with the music. Like, I think obviously, if you come from more of a trap or like an electronic background, I do think that there is. I would argue that there are some stuff that obviously correlates to that sound, but I would also say as well, like in terms of a K-pop group, and you're thinking like there's just got to be like this insane production, there has to be these insane like vocal runs and melodies and harmonies and things like that. I do feel like this one is arguably more stripped down comparatively to some of the other K-pop stuff. I don't think it lessens the value of the song, certainly, because I think I still really enjoyed it, but I think it's a lot cleaner musically than what I kind of expect from K-pop, where it's just like, oh shit, like there's so much stuff going on. Like this one feels a little bit more
You're right.
tame.
It definitely has a lot more of clean production,
Mhm.
especially compared to what you've listened to. So
Yeah.
saying like Dreamcatcher, some of that
Yep.
stuff can get a little chaotic. The Pixie stuff gets really
Pixie
chaotic.
stuff, yeah. Oh yeah.
And then obviously like some of the metal stuff and even stuff like New Jeans. Like
Yeah,
we've been
oh, yeah.
listening to New Jeans and some of their stuff is really out there.
Heavily layered
So-
too, but I think comparatively, and I'm not even trying to compare like New Jeans to like obviously Everglow because they're a completely different group, but I think that New Jeans does it in a way where it's a little bit more lo-fi, it's a little bit more like intentional in that way where it's like it's almost, you feel like it has to be there in order for them to have that sort of sound where it's a little bit more wispy, it's a little bit more like ethereal kind of.
They're definitely going for different vibes where
Oh, yeah.
New Jeans would give you like a more of an easy listening
I would agree.
kind
Yeah.
of vibe, even though they are doing songs that would be like Jersey Club, like songs that are in the house realm. Their songs have way more of a easy listening vibe, whereas Everglow, I think, has a pretty consistent track record, especially with their title tracks, of being in your face.
Oh, okay. So I imagine we're only gonna be going up as the songs go on. So I'm excited. I think this is good. This was a good base point. And Izzy, if you're still in the chat, would love to know what your favorite Everglow track is. As well as that, I will comment on Pixie since Alex did mention it. I did go back and listen to the like Karma, and I did go back and listen to like the two split off tracks from that, which everybody was very controversial about. I do enjoy the two songs separately as opposed to the amalgamation that they formed together. I think there is definitely parts where I was like, damn, that part was really cool. I'm kind of mad they removed that from the song. And then when I go and listen to it again, I'm like, yeah, I can't listen. I feel like for me, it's like you get that moment where you're like, man, did I just listen to this song? I feel like I just listened to this song, and that was kind of my moment where I was like, damn, this sucks. This is terrible. So not that the song's terrible, both songs are great, all three songs are great, but I think it was kind of redundant that they had done the mashup personally, but I don't know.
Especially when you listen to the album and you hear all three of them in a row.
Exactly. Yeah. Basically, I was just like, well, I don't even need to listen to the last track. I've already got both of them, like.
Yeah.
So that was a comment just in case anybody came from the Pixie video. I appreciate that. Izzy does say, my favorite is definitely still La Di Da, but Pirate and now Slay are up there as well. So that's high praise because Slay just came out. So we're going to be listening to that one a little later.
Get into the next one.
The next one is Adios. All right. Do I need to know anything about it, or we're jumping in?
Nah, let's just jump in.
Okay.
Everglow.
That logo's sick. Okay. This sub bass is so wild. Ooh, what a change-up.
Goodbye, ever adios. Yeah. Goodbye, ever adios. Goodbye, ever adios.
Ooh. Oh, this is hard. Okay. Clean cut too. Holy shit. Goodbye, ever adios. Yeah. Goodbye, ever adios. Goodbye, ever adios. Okay. All right. Well, that was Adios, the next song we listened to. If you're just tuning in, this one was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't know what I was gonna be getting into. Very similarly to all of the K-pop groups I think we've covered now at this point. I do feel like it does continue that same sort of trend of having like a hard like sub bass line. I imagine that is going to be kind of a through within their entire discography, is just like really strong like bass work, which is again, going back to a former point, just having a lot more of that sort of trap influence. Um, I kind of like that little like jig almost in the chorus. That was like that. It's kind of got like almost like I don't know, like an Irish jig kind of feel to it. Weirdly enough, like it's kind of got a weird sort of like musical background. Like I wouldn't have imagined putting those things together, but in my head, that's the only thing I can kind of think of, like
I
almost
mean,
like a
like how
chant.
like the syncopation of the
But like
vocals.
da 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 da, yeah, like that kind of thing. So I really enjoyed that. I will say the only disappointment I have about this song is that I thought for sure in that like pre-chorus build-up, I thought they were gonna continue on with that a little bit longer, and for them to just go down to just like the adios and then like completely take it in a completely different direction. I almost obviously feel like that is very much a K-pop trope across like all genres, where you kind of hit a left and then you hit a right, and then you're like, okay, we got a little bit of a straight, and then we go back left again. I do find that in some groups they tend to do that, and that's not a bad thing by any stretch. I do appreciate the switch up. It's not predictable in that way, so I think that's probably why I enjoy it a lot. But I do find that in that pre-chorus I was like, man, if they give me just a little bit more, that would be so sick. Or maybe if they transition from like that cool like melody into like the break, that would be so wild.
It's also a bit of a trope in EDM as
That
well
too,
to
yeah, I was gonna
do
say, yeah.
like false drops, sort of,
Mm-hmm.
where they kind of like will do a build up and then bring it back down, kind of like fake people out for a drop, and then bring the energy back up to 100 like really quickly.
I
It's
can see that.
definitely it's a thing in K-pop for sure, but it's definitely a thing in EDM as well, which I think you're getting on. I think you're like catching on to the fact that Everglow does a lot of EDM
Yeah.
blending in their stuff. There's a lot of trap influence. They play with um, a lot more traditional EDM style than a lot of other K-pop groups do. Even K-pop groups that do have a lot more EDM style music, Everglow I think gets closer to the line of coming closer to like actual EDM songs than a lot of
I would
other
agree,
groups.
yeah. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I would argue that probably separates them a lot from like the, hundreds, probably thousands of groups that are out there. So I do appreciate that in that way. And to have this sort of false drop like narrative, I think that makes sense, especially within their style of music. And yeah, as you mentioned earlier, kind of being adjacent to like EDM and this like the things that they do. Um, I did like that kind of like whistle like melody. I thought that was really cool, and how they kind of included it throughout the entirety of the song. That was very interesting. I do think it has a really good hook to it. It's definitely something that you'll remember in a song like that. So I do appreciate that a lot. And I think this one was good. I'm waiting for that one song that's really gonna like catch me. Like I'm gonna be like, oh shit, this is good, because I do find that with each K-pop group, there's like a specific era or time that where like the light bulb will just click, or something will go off in my head, and I'll be like, no, I like this now. Like I felt like
I
that with
think
Pixie.
you will definitely find that with Everglow, I think.
I felt that way with Pixie. Like the first stuff, like enjoyed, but it was really once we got later into their catalog, I was like, okay, now I get it. Like now some of the stuff's making sense. I had the opportunity to go back and listen to just some of the B-side stuff as well too, and just spending time in the groups after doing the stuff. So I think for me, it's like cool to experience some of the like title tracks, the MVs, the big songs, and then kind of going back and listen to the stuff that people would consider B-sides, or like,
Yeah,
not
I
as
th- I think I think where you really will like get into a group and like find out if you really like them and like start really loving a group is when you get into their B-sides, because for me personally that's where I find most of my favorite songs from groups.
I agree.
And you also get like a little bit more, you get like more diversity,
Mm-hmm.
and get to hear more of sometimes like more member contribution to songs, or different styles that they don't want to put necessarily with their front foot for like a title track.
Mm-hmm.
So especially, I mean, you experienced that with Pixie. Is once we got to those B-sides, like you heard some of their kind of like jazzy songs
Oh,
and their
yeah.
pulled
Oh, yeah.
back songs and stuff, and it's like, okay, you don't really get to see that side of them if you're only watching their music videos. And I think Everglow is the same experience. A lot of their B-sides are some of my favorites.
Yeah, I think it makes me excited to delve into their catalog a little bit more. Like this, and I hope, people watching these and enjoying them, like, especially if you're not a K-pop fan. I mean, I imagine most people, I'm pandering to a certain audience, certainly, but I do find that I hope that people that generally check out my channel for the other things that I do, I'd hope you check out K-pop, because I think there's a lot of cross-pollination in the especially I would argue more in the EDM, like heavier side of things. Like I think or heavier, quote unquote, but like I think there are a lot of correlations that you can find within that, and I'd hope that people that maybe were like myself, that were maybe a little bit more so on the fence about K-pop music, that they'll kind of jump into it and experience it, because I think it gives you a better like perspective on like what's coming out, what's what type of music is doing well, and I think it makes you a better, I would argue, makes you a better musician. So I think that to me it's been an eye-opening experience, not from the sheer fact of like musicality, but I think it just also just shows me how talented like K-pop groups are. And I think that a lot of the times you're just like, oh yeah, just somebody produced this song and like they did all this stuff, but I think there's a lot more that goes into groups and why they do so well. So that was my plug to go check out more K-pop music. But the next song we have on the list here is that Dun Dun?
Dun Dun.
All right. I don't think I need to know anything,
Sure.
I'd guess.
Yeah. Everglow.
Okay.
등장부터 좀 거칠게 갈 테니까 깜짝 놀라지 마. 입에서 입으로 전해져 now. 방금 스친 내야 보통 아니라고. 깊은 이 정글도 나에겐 짜릿한 놀이터. Alright, 난 골랐어.
Oh, that's cool.
그 심장에 내 이름 하나를 남길래. You're so dun 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 dun. You're so dun.
Oh, nice. Okay.
나의 눈빛이 같이 저긴 아닌 것 같이. Baby 꼼짝 못할걸. 내가 보기엔 좀 달라. 거침없어 so strong.
Oh, that's clean. All right.
잠깐만 치면은 찰나. 뒤집어버려 bomb the bomb. 순식간에 잡혀 내 숨을 턱 막히게 해. 말투는 cool 나의 몸짓은 hot like. 우아하게 난 지금 won't stop can't stop 너를 노려. 뒤에 따라 나도 결국엔 조금만 무인도. Alright 다 끝났어. 너의 그 심장에 내 모습 하나를 새길래. You're so
Okay, that was sick. Yep. All right.
널 깊이 더 깊이 파고들어 끝까지 확실히 단단히 움켜쥐어 나를 우러러 바라보겠지 나를 외치고 부르짖겠지 그래 아마 넌 느껴지겠지 넌 전부 다 읽혔어 You're so dun 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 dun. You're so dun.
Ooh, nice harmonies. All right.
꼼짝 못할걸.
Go Mia.
Baby 꼼짝 못할걸.
All right, guys, that was done. I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to click. It's starting to make sense now. I would say arguably this one is the best, like structurally. I think I like the reason why they kind of did the like obviously title name of the song, but I like how they did it musically and then also musically called back to it in the chorus where like it's actual instrumentation. I thought that was cool, very interesting. And then they
Yeah,
jumped
it's a
right
good
into the
use of
second chorus.
Yeah, it's a cool use. I guess like a double entendre would be
Kind of,
the
yeah,
way to
yeah,
describe
yeah.
it. With them using the line "You're so done" and then using "done" as like the kind of like instrumentation in the song, sort of. Yeah, it's cool. It's got definitely more of a traditional song structure.
I would agree.
One
Yeah.
thing that I like about it a lot is sort of how it does like the fake out with the first drop, sort of where it brings back down. They
Correct.
do
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
little "You're so done" that thing, and then the second chorus they skip that,
Yes,
jump
they
right
jump
into
right
it,
in. Yeah.
and when you're expecting it, you're expecting the drop down, and then they hit you with it, so it's cool. It gives you like it's like shocking kind of,
I would
and in
agree.
the
Yeah.
end for the third chorus they bring it back again. It's like, all right, cool, a return to form. And then I think like the dance break is really cool. They give
Dance break is tight.
me
Yeah.
they give me a cool chance to shine in the dance break there, and the instrumental gets really cool there with like, I don't even know what the instrument is, some sort of synth maybe.
Yeah, I think it
But
is. Yeah. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I
really
really
cool.
enjoyed this one a lot. I think this was I think now I'm starting to get everything. It's starting to like make sense. It's starting to click. I think I also really got to appreciate like the rap parts in this as well too. I think there's just a lot more I would argue very similarly to maybe like Dreambound, I get, or not Dreambound, Dreamcatcher. I don't know why I said Dreambound. My brain's going to shit now. Dreamcatcher, I think it also I can find where like shouts to my lovely Dami. I think you can kind of hear a lot more of those like stronger like rap lines within the song, and I think it harkens to that sort of again that trap sort of mentality where I think within rap music you can kind of hear more of that emphasis of the beat a little. They switch it up in a way where like even if you weren't watching a music video or whatever, like you could definitely tell where like musically queued up where okay, we're gonna have this really cool like breakbeat part in it, and I will say it's just really tight. I think both of their rappers that they have in this group are both great, so kudos to them. I believe Izzy said it's EU and Aisha,
Yep.
so
Are
shout
there
outs
any
to them.
members that are sticking out to you so far?
I don't know. I think I have to listen to a little bit more. I don't have a bias yet, but I'm sure by the end of this I'll have
Okay.
one. I like all of them actually. I think they all have like a really good strong suit, and I would argue kind of the first point that I made where like the production value is clean. I think there's an opportunity for each individual member of the group to be a little bit more at the forefront, I guess, per se, because I don't think there's like musicality or instrumentation really to, I guess, per se hide from. You know, like you can really tell, I would argue, distinctively what each member is. And obviously there are some layering because otherwise I think it would be pretty bland. But I think there is this level of like individuality within the group, and the musicality kind of centers around their abilities to each individually be well or proficient in what they do versus maybe like a Twice where you could hear harmony stacked on harmony stacked on harmony, and that's great. I love Twice. I will die on that rock, but I think like you could tell that there's a lot of vocal layering going on, and you may not be able to kind of distinguish between them, where I feel like in this group there's a little bit more opportunity for that to exist.
So your bias is their producer.
My bias is their producer. I think they have definitely a great producer. So whoever's producing their music now gives a big shout out.
Fair.
Because it's different. Because
I'm,
I think out of all the groups we listen to, this one kind of, you can distinguishably tell like the production value is different. Obviously, they're borrowing a lot from the kind of EDM and like trap space, which within K-pop, I would argue they're kind of in parallel in some ways. You know, I think it depends on what group you're talking about, certainly, but definitely you can draw a lot of parallels to that, which I like. You know, obviously that's not my forte in terms of the music that I listen to, but I enjoy it. I think it's been more interesting to delve into it, and obviously right now my bias is their producer.
Okay. I'm a lifelong Aisha bias.
Aisha's been great, and I mean I've enjoyed her.
She is the tall, dark-haired rapper. She was the one in this video wearing like the rainbow kind of sequencey dress.
Okay.
I don't know how else to point her out. She's one of the rappers. She's really tall.
Okay.
for
for
a K-pop girl.
Also, Izzy says Mia my queen, so I think she might be on the same bias as you, Alex. I don't know. Who knows? Well, anyway, we're moving on to the next one, which is La Di Da. So we don't need to know anything other than just playing it, right?
I've got 2 favorite Everglow title tracks that I will never be able to distinguish which one I like more. This is one of them.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get into Alex's favorite right now. Maybe it'll be my favorite. I don't know. What is this? Arkham Knights? No, I'm just kidding.
Everglow.
Sin City, bro.
Sin City.
Sure.
Oh! Oh, that's cool.
Don't bring me down, don't bring me down. 허상한 척 따윈 제발 좀 넣어도 show me, baby. Everglow forever, let's go.
Wow. This is sick.
Crazy, crazy. 네 마음이 원하는 걸 솔직하게 tell me, tell me. 절대 널 이대로 기다려주지 않아. Sorry, no, sorry, sorry. 우스워질라, 밀고 당길라. Don't bring me down, down, don't bring me down. 허상한 척 따윈 제발 좀 넣어도 show me, baby. Got no time for hate.
This chorus is so driving. I love it. A little like synth solo. All right. This is hard. Oh man, that was great.
Man, we got 80s synth wave, we
I
got
was gonna
the
say,
synth
yeah.
solo, we've got voguing and the dance move, we got
Yep.
Aisha crawling through a
A
vent
freaking laser show.
in black leather. Oh my
Popped
god.
off. Popped off with this one. Yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot. I would think this one is my top one right now. I would be hard pressed to find a song that I jived out with more than this one, but we
They
still got
really
we
they
got some
really
more.
spearheaded this trend in K-pop with this song, where a lot of groups really started going with this like 80s synth wave retro
Oh yeah.
style songs for a little while. And I don't know 100% that Everglow was the first to do it, but they definitely capitalized. I would say like they definitely did it the best, and I think got the most recognition for it. And the song was really big for them, with like switching the genre up, and seemed to influence a lot of other groups,
Oh yeah.
kind of following up on it.
Yeah, I love the kind of 80s pop influence in this track. Definitely is obviously drawing a lot from that. It kind of gave me a little bit of like the Midnight, which is like one of my favorite synthwave bands right now. So if you haven't checked them out, go do it. But just I think the reason why this song is so driving is like the great synth work in this, and I think even as I've been mentioning a lot, just the driving bass in this track. I think you can this is really that's kind of really the driving force of this song. So I think that again, very much continuing on with the same trend that they've been doing with that, but kind of switching up a lot more melodies. I think the song has a lot more moments where it's like filled out because of that synth and because of the way that they worked in that sort of like more retro aesthetic to their music, drawing a lot from that sort of 80s pop influence.
Yeah,
I do think that there was core moments in this song, certainly. Yeah.
something cool about Everglow's style is that they still brought in trap elements into the song,
Yes. Oh, yeah.
especially like during like the rap sections, where you would expect if they're going for this 80s synth pop kind of song, they just keep it 100% speed the whole time, and they keep like keep it moving quick and keep
Yeah.
it like kind of like one level. But it's cool to have a little bit of their flavor in it, where they kind of like bring it back and tone it down a little bit and make it more like a little bit of trap beat, get their rap sections in there and everything. So I think it's a really good job of this style of song, but with also having like the Everglow flavor.
Yeah, I think it's a good blend. I think it kind of pays homage to what they have done previously, but I also think it's really, diving into new territory that, again, at the time, I don't think a lot of K-pop groups were really moving into, I would assume. So I think that there is this level of like, now I can look at it and be like, oh, that's great. Like they're doing it. But I imagine at the time it was like, holy shit, like what are we doing? We don't know if this is going to work. And obviously it seemed like the reception was pretty good about this track, for both yourself and Izzy to say that these songs are their favorites. So, I mean, I feel like that's pretty good metric in terms of, and I imagine the song was probably received. I don't know how well it was received at the time, but
It was received well. It's still highly regarded in their
mhm.
discography. People definitely like look back at this song as like oh my god, remember when they did La Di Da? And I would say a lot of people that aren't even necessarily Everglow fans, or fans of mid to smaller level K-pop groups,
Mhm.
have probably listened to the song or heard this song just because of like how much influence I think it had at the time.
Yeah, I guess the only way I could kind of relate it to is maybe like um the way like 50/50 is like kind of popped off with Cupid. Like I think that they're a group that maybe I don't think a lot of people will be familiar with if you're not familiar with the genre, right? Like I think they're a type of group that you would know about them because they're on TikTok and they have that sort of popularity, but I don't like you could ask somebody on the street, like they would know that if you play that song, I'm pretty sure someone would be like, "Oh, I know that song. That's from TikTok." You know? But like I'd
Yeah.
imagine, I guess, maybe I'm reaching a little bit, but I kind of find maybe the same thing with this where it's like oh yeah, like they're doing this retro like 80s pop kind of thing, but in K-pop music, and it's just like, oh, I don't know this group, but I know that song. I don't know if I'm right. What do you think, Alex? Kind of, not really.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a fine comparison. I think that they definitely got associated with a lot of other songs. Not like I wouldn't say compared, but there was definitely a lot of situations where like other groups would do this style of song,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be looked at in comparison, I guess, to La Di Da. Like, oh, they're kind of doing that Everglow thing, or oh, I heard this style a couple months ago from Everglow, or this isn't the first time I've heard that Everglow just did it. So I see what you mean as far as like people hearing like songs that sound similar, or hearing the song maybe on like a TikTok or
Mm-hmm.
video at some point, being like playing like associative, it being like associated, I guess, with
Yeah.
Everglow.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that obviously brings in new people to listen to the music, and I think if you're more on the like 80s pop side of things, like maybe it might open that door to like be more open to checking out K-pop. And obviously I don't know if this is a sound that they kind of continue on in doing, but I would argue that I think it kind of is a good jumping off point for maybe people getting into Everglow as a group, being like, oh cool, this is
sound
nice.
in general. This sound in general is still a thing in K-pop.
Yeah,
So
certainly.
whether that is tied to them necessarily, or if it was just inevitable because of
Mm-hmm.
Trends repeat, genres will always come back, retro is always going to be a thing.
Yeah.
So who knows? It could have some influence from them, could be completely random. But groups are still doing this type of music to this day. So
It's not
I guess
unpopular.
it's up to personal. Yeah, I guess it's up to like personal opinion or whatever. You can argue they had an influence or not. I guess there's not really much proof either way, but I think you can definitely say that they spearheaded it.
Sure.
Bigger than anyone else did, at least.
I think they've done it. I mean, this was a great kind of like amalgamation of what they've done so far. So I mean, I could definitely put this on my favorites that I've listened to from Everglow. But still got some more songs. We got like 3 more, so pretty stoked on that.
Yeah,
Jared, what's going on? How you doing? But the next one is First, so you just jump right into it, right?
Yeah, this is my other one.
Is this your? Oh, okay. All right. A Darth Vader type mask. All right. Respect. Shouts to OGs. All right. All right.
Video editing is crazy.
Insane. That's clean. Cool build up. Ooh. Oh. All right.
정쟁은 숨을 조여와요 어지러움진 실환이 fantasy 내줘 우리는 새벽에 물던 깃털 것처럼 터져 겁내지 마 손을 잡아봐 지나간 과거 너를 두렵게 해
Really liking this melody build up.
You know that I come first I'm the winner, winner, winner 그런 마지막 순간 너를 콸콸콸 이 세상 어디도 빛은 없다 거짓에 속지는 말아줘 우리 함께 깜짝한 나 꿈을 꿀 거야 막힌 벽을 벗어난 선을 넘어 움츠리지
This part is sick.
You know that I come first.
Oh,
I'm the winner, winner, winner. 그런 마지막 순간 fade away. 너를 콸콸콸. 이 세상 어디도 빛은 없다. 거짓에 속지는 말아줘 우리 함께. 보여줄게 본 적 없는 flex.
oh.
들려줄게 본 적 없는 flex. 알려줄게 본 적 없는 first.
That ending, what the fuck? That went way harder than it should have. I'm just gonna say. They popped the fuck
That is
off.
such a good song.
That ending was insane. Oh, that ending was so good. Oh my god. Wow. This is yeah. I can see why it's tough because both of those songs are great.
First goes so crazy. The choreo is insane. The music video, the editing on the
Oh, the
music
editing
video
was
is
wild.
crazy. The drop is hard. The rap verse is crazy. The whole dance break at the end. Like,
Oh.
they gave Anda like a nice center dance break at the end. Dude, this song and video is a 10 out of 10 for me.
I would agree. Jared said, listening to my first Everglow song right now with you guys. Shout outs to Jared, my
Hell yeah.
partner in crime on a podcast that will be releasing soon. So stay tuned. He said the cinematography is A+. I gotta say, yeah, kudos to their
Yeah.
editing team. That was some wild editing shit on this music video. So I am not surprised because it's like millions upon millions upon millions of dollars of like special effects and editing. So it makes sense
Yeah,
why it looks
but
good.
They're from a pretty small company, honestly.
I mean, but still, I
mean,
think they put a
Yeihua
lot of effort
Entertainment is
into
pretty
it.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of effort. There's a great editing team, and Yeihua is a Chinese-based company. I'm sure they have plenty of money to throw into Everglow, but they're not really a huge company, which is like cool to see the production value come out of it.
Insane. Izzy said, love the rap part. Maybe my favorite part of the song. I would also agree that went extremely hard. Respect to EU and Aisha.
Yeah, they throw that crazy auto-tune run on the intro to EU's rap section, where they like have it basically they hyper pitch her vocals up and then do like a really hard auto-tune gate run, and it just makes it sound like super weird,
Jarring,
but
yeah.
it fits in
yeah.
the vibe so well.
Yeah, and that beat just goes insanely hard. So I gotta give it credit. Jared also said 9 out of 10. Shamelessly would bump this in my car stereo. I think you can remove the shamelessly part and just say bump in my car stereo because we all know you're a
It's
stan
just
now.
a club banger.
It's hard. I respect this so much. Oh man, it was great. I didn't think I'd like that much as I did. I guess I'm a K-pop stan now, or at least with this group. So welcome to the club, buddy. That's what Alex is converting everyone, I think. Eventually every metalhead is going to be a K-pop lover. Calling it.
Well, I'm trying to start off by showing Brandon the best of the best,
Ah,
Everglow is up there for
I
me.
would agree. Yeah. Um, the song itself was very very good as well. I think again the driving force behind their music, is just I think again the trap elements are super strong in this track, but I also think that they brought in more melodic elements. I think there's a lot more attention to like vocal melodies, harmonies,
E-
layering,
Especially in the bridge. The bridge is
especially in the
beautiful.
bridge.
There
That
is so
bridge,
much vocal layering in the bridge. It is
chef's
gorgeous.
kiss, chef's kiss.
And also there's a lot more use of like strings in this, which is
Yes.
really cool. And something that I really like is they have this really deep, like growling synth.
Yes. Yeah. Oh
That is
yeah.
kind of like the lead for the drop. And you'll hear it in the rap section in the beginning of the song too, where it kind of like they do a lot of modulation with it, where they pitch it, they bend it, and they like bring it down. It's got this really really gritty low end, but it's got like a really like cool saw ish kind of high
Yes.
end, and they just play with like sort of the same synth sound throughout most of the song, and it does a really good job of like keeping up like variation and keeping it interesting. It's a really cool choice they made for that specific sound, I think.
Yeah, and I also think it's kind of interesting too as well, like kind of the jump from like again the previous song, which is La Di Da. Like I think that's I think for me it's interesting to see that and seeing quite a significant jump musically from song to song. Like that, I would argue this is pretty much like polar opposites. Like I think there obviously are some elements that again continue to make its way through Everglow, but I also think as well too like they kind of brought back some of the elements of their previous sound, but like also arguably maybe modernized it in a way where like they have a lot more layering, there's a lot more structure, there's a lot more kind of vocal layering going on where I felt like almost in some places where I was like, oh, maybe it's lacking in that way. But I really enjoyed this one a lot. I think I can understand why La Di Da and First being your favorite two because I'm having a hard time picking which one of those two I like more. Um,
Well, they're such different songs, you know.
Agreed. Yeah.
I mean, you have like an '80s style synth wave throwback
Song.
kind of song,
Yeah.
and then you have just this hard in your face trap
Club
EDM
banger.
song. So
Yeah.
it's like, how do you really compare them? You know what I mean?
It's difficult. I don't think you can. I don't think you can put them in the same category. Like it's so musically diverse that I could understand you having of this being your favorite, but also La Di Da being your favorite because I think musically they are on two different like platforms. You know, so
Yeah, and you know, like there's gonna be times where I'm like, you know, driving late at night and I put on La Di Da and I'm like,
you're
oh,
vibing.
this is my favorite. This is my favorite Everglow song, easy. There's gonna be times when I'm like at a I don't know at a club in the city or something, and someone puts on First. I'm like, okay, this is my favorite Everglow song. The song goes crazy. This is like a great club song. So I think it's like one of those situations where different songs will suit different
Sure.
vibes and different um, moods that you're in and stuff. So I always struggle deciding, and I probably never will, which song I really like more. But
Have you seen Everglow? Have they come to the States yet or no?
they have. Have
Okay.
not seen them. I missed them their first time around. They've only been around once, so we're hoping for another one soon.
Everglow, if you watch this, you know, come to Pennsylvania. That'd be really sick. I would go see you.
Oh, I would absolutely go see them.
This seems hard. I'd be about it. Um,
Yeah.
But Jared said the way they jump back and forth between Korean and English makes it cooler, easier for me to enjoy.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty important for a lot of people, and I think that that does a good job of opening the doors for people to feel like they can understand more going on with the music, and it makes it easier to sing along to some of the lyrics. It makes it easier to kind of like understand the song a little bit,
I would
especially
agree.
with there's groups that do a lot more back and forth too. There's some groups that do like, you know, half and half. You have New Jeans who does a lot of English.
Yes.
Groups definitely play with how much Korean and English they mix into their songs, and I think it's really cool too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Jared said, just listen to Slay. There's a lot of care put into everything this group does. I would
For sure.
1,000% argue that without a doubt.
We are we're getting to Slay. We're almost there.
We're almost there. So,
and I've only heard a little bit of Slay, and I have not watched a music video. So,
it's gonna be fresh for both of us.
Yeah, I've been putting it off all day, man. It came out early this morning.
I appreciate your resiliency.
I skipped it at work. I didn't look at any of my group chats. I was like, I'm gonna wait.
Wow. Kudos.
I did hear a little bit of it on an Instagram reel earlier, but ignore that.
Yeah, you didn't listen to it. It's all right. The next song is Pirate, so I think we should just jump right into it. So,
Space Pirates.
Costume's wild. Oh my god, the editing on this is wild. That build up, all right. His chorus goes hard.
Cause I'm a pirate, yeah, yeah, a pirate, yeah, yeah, a pirate, yeah, yeah. Now let me introduce myself. 난 한대 시작해 향해 다른 길을 향해. Yeah, let me introduce myself. Hoy 노래 불러 이제 가려진 달고 찔러 축제. Well, 시범이 timbers 같이 이 밤 지켜봐. 먼지 어깨에 get on board.
Yeah, all right.
이 파도 아래서 잠들 모두. Yeah, I'm making a move.
Now you see why I like our shit.
Yep. I love this chorus so much.
Cause I'm a pirate, yeah, yeah, a pirate, yeah, yeah, a pirate, yeah, yeah. Now let me introduce myself. 내 하늘의 끝은 두 갈래미래, 새날개 노래. Yeah, let me introduce myself.
Oh, this is clean.
눈이 부신 빛으로 together. 나를 믿고 따라올라 나의 방주에. Cause we are girls all over the world. 춤춰봐 tonight. Anything now. 미쳐봐 no doubt. Going for the crown. 휘날린
Oh, sick. What a great mesh. Oh, that was fantastic. Another good one. They keep bringing the heat. I love it, man. Oh,
Yeah, that's a fun one.
that's so good. That last chorus was awesome. I love how they
So they kinda,
mashed
like,
up.
Blended. Yeah.
They blended it so well, so clean. Yeah, I can say why Izzy loves this song because I think I love this one too. I think it's this one just vibed super hard. The beat was awesome, and that chorus is that melody is gonna get stuck in my head. I can almost feel it
Yeah,
instinctually.
it it has a pretty cool like two-part chorus, or a chorus and then a post-chorus, I guess, however you want to look at it.
Sure, yeah.
Um, I personally love both. I know that little contentious, I would say, for some people, with this song in their discography, um, from what I've seen. But think I think it's great. I think it's fun. I think the
Oh, it's
concepts
great.
and the styling is cool. I think they made some like interesting bold styling choices, but I like to see that. I really love the look of Mia with like
With
the
the glass thing, like the
yeah, like the
monocle.
glass eye thing, and the snake bites.
That's hard. Yeah, I do
It's like, that's a
appreciate that.
good look.
That is a look, 100%. I also really I can tell why Aisha might be your bias, certainly, because I think you and Aisha just crushed this track, like especially the rap bits. Like, oh, so good.
She's just got like a little bit of a deep. She's got like everything I like typically in members. She's got like a little bit of a huskier voice. Um, she's you would see, I guess, more in like variety content and stuff, but she's funny. She's a great dancer. Tall. Um, very good, and her verses are great. I mean, her and EU are paired up obviously a lot for rap verses, and I think they kill it. I think they're a really solid rap duo. I think
I would agree. Yeah.
as he pointed out earlier, being one of their favorite like fourth gen rap duos, and I agree. I think they work so well together.
Yeah, they have a really cool synergy, and like anytime the rap parts do kind of wind up coming into the track, I just know they're going to be good. Like I don't even have to like really second guess it or think about it. I'm just like they're both going to crush it. So I would probably say Ian and Aisha are probably my biases right now, I'd argue, because they just like
Okay.
there's something eclectic about their duo-ship in the way that like obviously all of the members are great, but I do find that like the rap parts in these songs, like in terms of the Everglow like MVs, have just been so good. Like the hooks on the rap parts have
Sure.
just been so fire. So I gotta say,
Also,
yeah,
like rap parts and rappers are also easier to identify and like stick
Sure.
out more.
Yeah.
So that's also always going to play into it.
but the melodies on this were great. I would say, I don't know. I want to wait until we listen to Slay, because I know a lot of people have been pretty hyped about this song. So I think we should jump into it. What do we think, Alex?
The only thing I wanted to point out lastly that I really love
Okay.
about the song is the bridge where they do those like pulled back swelling synths.
Yes. Oh,
I just think that's like a really cool instrumental change. Really like slowed things down, and the chords are really really nice, and there was some more opportunity for vocal layering there, and I think it was a nice break from what is a pretty consistently like beat pumping house song.
yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
I think it did a good job of like breaking the song up and bringing like a different texture, to the song. So that's something I've always enjoyed about the song a lot.
I think, and that's also what I've noticed, to kind of piggyback off that. It's also what I've noticed with a lot of K-pop groups, is that like the more that I've listened to their discography and the more I get invested into the group after I'm done doing these, I do find that there's like little bits and pieces that I was like, oh shit, I really wish I would have mentioned that, or I would have said something about this, because there was this really cool part that I didn't really get to discern as much. Because oftentimes, and I imagine people watching this are just, this is my first impression. Like I've never listened to any of these songs. I've never listened to Everglow period as of like an hour ago, so I think for me it's been a cool experience, and I hope, again, if you are new to K-pop, hope this is a very eye-opening experience, and maybe, who knows, you might wind up enjoying these and checking out Everglow or any of the other groups. They're all in a playlist, so if you want to check out some of the other groups that we've done in the past, feel free to watch. Izzy said, I find it a bit hilarious how Aisha is the tallest member and EU is the shortest. It's so clear when they're next to each other. I'm gonna have to look next time. That's
It's always
rough.
been funny because Aisha is considered very tall for women in K-pop. and EU is very short, and EU for a while in this group was the leader. So it was
No
really funny
way.
seeing like their like tiny leader paired up with like their super tall other rapper. It was really funny dichotomy.
Oh, that's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, EU's no longer the leader. They kind of like did a little bit of a leader switch. But still seeing them paired up is really funny.
Do you know who the maknae is of this group is? I don't mean to put you on the spot if you don't know.
You're putting me on the spot.
Okay,
I
I'll
don't know off the
we'll
top of
go,
my
we'll
head.
go look after, but Shafter's
Someone here knows. Right?
somebody in here knows.
Somebody
Izzy's for
come
sure
let me know.
knows. I or Shafter. Well, they said don't think they didn't need a comeback until almost 2 years after Pirates release. So, listen,
Yeah,
picked a good time.
Yeah, so look at the release date of Pirate.
A year ago.
Hold on. Click the more. It'll show you the actual date.
December 1st.
December 1st, 2021. This is the last time they had a song come out. Until today.
Phew.
And they let us know in chat that
Urine
is the Machna.
Nice. I don't
Thank you.
know. That's the only thing. I feel like I always like to know those like interesting facts about groups.
Sorry, I should have told you in the beginning.
It's all right. I don't expect you. We did this. This is very impromptu. I just want to preface that
Yeah, sure.
Alex and I did this very impromptu. So don't beat him up in the comments, guys. Okay, don't do it.
So to add on to the whole kind of like date thing, yeah, it's very unusual for a K-pop group to not have a comeback for that long.
For them to release new music, right?
Yeah, I mean it's getting close to 2 years. That's like unheard of.
Yeah.
Because the formula for K-pop usually is frequent releases of less quantity of music.
Yeah, it's like 6 months. I think they're kind of like on the 6 month split kind of. I would guess
probably about average. Yeah, I would say like 6 months is pretty normal. So for them to go like, I think 19 or 20 months with nothing is really crazy. Like people were harassing the company and like nobody could figure out what was going on. And we know like Yurin went back to China for a while.
Okay.
Nobody could figure out, but it wasn't really important to the issue because she came back and they still didn't seem to be doing anything. So I'm not sure if there's any definite answer on like why that didn't happen earlier or if it's speculation, but it's really crazy because I mean they literally complete like a lot of times boy groups because the men in Korea have to do the mandatory military service.
Yeah,
which is like I think 18 months. So
yes.
like a lot of groups will, boy groups will take a pause while their members all go to the military for 18 months or like 2 years, and Everglow just doesn't even have to go to the military, and they took that pause. So shout out to Everglow for completing their military service.
Yeah, I was gonna say
being able to return to K-pop.
Thank you for serving Korea. I appreciate it. As a Korean myself, I give you the salutes.
Yeah. Well, luckily they left us plenty of good music to listen to.
Yeah.
While they were gone.
That's true.
So.
Well, hopefully they don't have a long pause after this. I do want to get to, again, Izzy Shafter. Thank you for letting me know Yurin is the maknae. Also, Izzy said that EU is the oldest at 1998. Then Xi'an in 1999. The rest are all in 2000, and Yurin being born in December. So there is no real reason why UA just sucks.
Yep, that's true. They've been a questionable company in a lot of ways. Not all even related to Everglow, in my opinion. And then Shafter said, "Not sure if you guys know this." In this comeback, Mia wasn't too fond of her short hairstyle, so the decision was not hers to make. I did see that. I did see her post where somebody asked her, I think like why she cut her hair or how she feels about it, and she said it was the company's decision.
Oof.
And that she wasn't too happy about it, and that's fair. They cut her hair very short. I think she looks good personally. I think she rocks the style, but it is a little disappointing and feels bad to see members not really getting a say in their styling or not really liking what the company is pushing for them.
That's fair. That's
So
like when
hopefully
I get.
she's gotten used to it. Hopefully, you know, they let her grow it back out to how she likes, and
That's like when I get a
Fingers
shitty haircut.
crossed.
You know, I hate it, but at least I could change it. You know, that's terrible.
Right.
Well, hopefully,
That
yeah.
being said, she's rocking the cut. She's killing it.
She's
She
killing
looks
it.
Great.
All right. Well, I think we need to jump into it. Slay. We're gonna slay. I think. Right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, get out your system.
Yeah, I think it looks fine. She looks good. That's right.
무심하게 길을 비켜, alright. 여기 우주 속에 steady, 깃발 들어 ready. Making it wow.
Ooh.
Coming loud. Like mine. 저저 알게 될 damage, baby I'm a savage. Yeah, my girls, we about to blow your mind. Every time.
Sick melody.
Yeah, 정복해 here. Yeah, 시작해 deal. Further 미지 세계 밝혀줄게 chandelier. All my girls say. Eyes on us, nobody does it better. Yeah, light it up. All my girls feeling on top of the world. The way we move, we side to side, we shining like diamonds and pearls. We are about to show you how. All my girls say, crazy, sexy, cool. Say, we born to break the rules. Say, we got the attitude. Say, every day. 난 고통의 끝에서 새롭게 살아나 이것이 나만의 key. 저 파멸의 끝에서 뜨겁게 살아가 이것이 나만의 free. You know that I'm the crown, so don't you waste my time. I'm keeping it real, I'm keeping it real, I'm keeping it killer tonight.
That was hard. Respect.
Yeah, 정복해 here. Yeah, 시작해 deal. Further 미지 세계 밝혀줄게 chandelier. Eyes on us, nobody does it better. Yeah, light it up, all my girls feeling on top of the world. The way we move is side to side, we shining like diamonds and pearls. We all about to show you how. All my girls say, crazy, sexy, cool. Slay, we born to break the rules. Slay, we got the attitude. Slay. 밤이 뱉은 안개 속, 난 하나 이것이 더 good thing.
Ooh.
나 원해 time for the chance. 나만의 pace. 더 높이 올라가고 싶어 멀리 날도록. Gotta go, I'm doing what I want. I'm never gonna stop. 내가 꿈꾼 세계 slay. We came here to stay.
Ooh.
All my girls say. Eyes on us, nobody does it better. Yeah, light it up. All my girls feeling on top of the world. The way we move is side to side, we shining like diamonds and pearls. We all about to show you how. All my girls slay, crazy, sexy, cool. Slay, we born to break the rules. Slay, we got the attitude. Slay, every day.
That was hard. I respect it.
Okay.
I was born to
Got
slay too.
a couple notes on that.
You go. I feel like you should go first on this one, Alex, since this is hot and fresh for both of us.
Some of these lyrics are funny. I love the line, "Crazy, sexy, cool."
I did. Yeah, I did. I did also pick up on that. I was like,
That's
I mean,
funny.
respect. You know,
They're not wrong.
they're not wrong. Yeah, exactly.
I like that we got rapper Mia
Yeah.
I think that EU and Asha's verses were sick.
Agreed.
I also think that the kind of like rap section of the chorus, I think Asha did it first, and then Mia, or then EU, and then Mia. They all got their chance at like the kind of back half rap part of the chorus, which I think was cool. And the choreo was great. The styling was fun. I think they all look really good.
Agreed.
I enjoyed this a lot.
I'll agree with all those points as well. Not that Alex and I collectively share a brain, but I also enjoyed a lot of those moments. I also really enjoyed the bridge. I don't know who was doing like the really high falsetto-y like head voice sort of stuff. But she sounded great. And I don't feel like in previous stuff from Everglow that we've really heard more of her like vocal styling, so that was very interesting. So I think I really enjoyed that aspect of the song the most. I did kind of enjoy the more like group like the group kind of like moments where they're like, like the way that the camera kind of pulled everybody in and, allowed you to kind of be in that moment with them. I thought that was great. The music was very fun. Definitely, I would say a little bit more subdued than I think some of their previous songs. Like there's something about it where like the beat was like very solid, like very like in the pocket, but I don't feel like it was like so crazy out there
I would
comparatively
say
to other songs.
I would say in relation to like the beat, it's definitely more on like the Lottie, or not Lottie. It's definitely more on the Bon Bon Chocolate
Agreed.
vibe, where it's a little bit more. I mean, it's obviously like an EDM style song and beat still, but it's a little more subdued. It's a little more like pulled back. It's not as in your face and aggressive. But there is that little post chorus thing where it's like they have that sort of stabbing bass
Yes, I would agree.
that
Yeah.
is aggressive.
Mhm.
I mean, but I think that's a good change. I think that's a good dynamic change to the song. Yeah, I mean this. It's hard to say. I don't know if anybody listening in chat. I'm sure some people are familiar, especially obviously if you're watching for Everglow, you probably know. They did a song with the producer, I think, by the name of the Fat Rat.
What a great name.
Don't laugh.
I'm sorry. It's great. I think that's hilarious. That's awesome.
They did a song with him a while back. I don't know why this reminds me so much of that song. I think
might be.
maybe it might be the chorus. I don't know. Does anyone in chat or listening, or if you're in the comments, let me know. Did he have a hand in producing this or working with them on this? Because it really reminds me of the track they did with the Fat Rat. Not in a bad way at all. I liked that track, and I like this track separately, but something about it really reminded me of that. I think, and just like how the structure and how the drop, like the beat drop, was produced.
Also, I want to give a shout outs to Izzy. It was Sion.
Yes.
So big salutes to her. She sounded great. So, yeah, I don't really have a comment on that since I don't know who the Fat Rat is. So I'll have to. I'm sorry for laughing earlier. It was hilarious. All right. I mean, if you're gonna name yourself the Fat Rat, I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
I like how you were trying
a one-off song they did.
trying to make me feel guilty about saying that or laughing. I see you, Alex. All right. I don't appreciate that. But I really enjoyed Everglow a lot. I think if anything, very similarly to Pixie, I'm definitely going to go and deep dive a little bit more and kind of listen to more of the B-side stuffs. But I really enjoyed this a lot. This was great. I'm curious, and maybe somebody in the chat or in the comments can let me know, is this just a one-off song, or is this a part of, like, I know typically they release like EPs or, extended plays.
This song is part of a single album. There are 2 other songs on it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have to listen to the
other
other 2
songs
songs.
I did listen to.
And they were fire?
They're good. There is I don't remember the name. Hang on.
I will also read off Shafter's comment, which said, "Yep, Ghostlight is produced by Fat Rat featuring Everglow. I don't think he had any input in this album."
Okay, good.
Well,
to
thank
know.
you for the help. Yeah, appreciate it, Shafter. Yeah, this is
So
good. Anyway, sorry,
in
Alex.
this single album they released, they have a song called "Make Me Feel," which I heard that today, and that is probably instantly on maybe my top 5 to top 10 B-sides of the year so far. It is so good.
Wow, that's some high marks. Maybe I'll have to have Alex on later in the year, or closer to the end of the year, and we'll have to do like another separate like K-pop wrapped for the year. Some of our faves. I think that'd be pretty fun. Let us know in the comments if you want to see that. I think that would be fun. I always do that for like my albums and my EPs of the year, so I might as well just like pick some of my favorite like K-pop songs, as well as like, you know, some B-sides that I didn't maybe have an opportunity to listen to live here. So, but yeah, Everglow, great group. Alex has been consistently bringing me good groups to listen to, so I appreciate my expansive knowledge of K-pop is growing daily. So I've really found myself actually listening to, not only in the kind of live streams of doing these, but going out and actually listen to their albums and the stuff that they put out. So I enjoyed this a lot. This was great. Another great group to add to my ever-growing list of K-pop groups that I'm currently listening to. And I think they're a welcome addition. I'll read off Izzy's comment, which says, they have 2 songs outside of their album besides the one with the Fat Rat. I suggest listening to when you check them out. Promise, it was for a UNICEF campaign, and Let Me Dance was an OST. Interesting. Okay. I didn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what it was an OST for, Izzy? I don't know. Or if maybe
I really
Alex knows.
enjoyed Promise. I actually don't know the name of the what the
OST.
OST was for.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed their UNICEF song "Promise" a lot.
Cool. I love that. Shafter said, I honestly feel like the B-sides are heavily underrated in all their albums. You guys should check out them if you are curious, like No Lie and Hush. I'll check them out.
Great.
I will. I am the least knowledgeable of the two, Shafter, so I will definitely be checking out these suggestions, and I will be giving them a listen. So very excited to delve more into Everglow. I think this might be I titled this as part 1. I don't know if we would really have enough quality to do part 2 yet. Maybe inevitably once they release another record or something like that, we'll probably be, onto the next group. Izzy says, I think it was for a series about spies. I don't remember the exact name. Okay, I appreciate it. I'll probably take a look myself. The next group, I don't think, did we decide on what the next group was going to be, Alex?
Not really.
Okay.
I think that
are we going to hold out for Purple Kiss?
We have Purple Kiss planned around their next comeback, and we have XG planned around their next comeback. I think that we should maybe do aespa.
Yeah, I did check out one track from aespa on accident.
People have been asking. Yeah, people have been asking about aespa. And I think they have an interesting enough discography that we could get into.
And we did have some guy groups, so I feel like maybe we should delve into a guy group as well. So if we don't, I will make another poll. I will put aespa in it, and then I'll also take some of the choices for the guys groups as well. And you guys can vote, and whoever is the highest polling vote, I guess we'll pick a date on when that next poll is going to run till. But I feel like that's probably a pretty good idea. So if you want to vote, it's in the community tab of my YouTube channel. So if you want to vote and give your suggestion, I'll also just make a post in general. I know I've kind of collected people from Dreamcatcher all the way up until what I'm doing now. So would love to get everyone's feedback on that. And if you do have your group, or if we haven't done a group that you would love us to do, I mean, you can let us know in the chat if you're still here. If not, also just shoot us either a DM on social media, audioaddictionmedia on Instagram if you want to DM me, or just drop a comment. We've made 2 also community posts for like guys groups as well as girls groups. So if you have any suggestions that haven't been mentioned yet, let us know there, because that's the best way. We plan on redoing it again because we want to check out more groups in the future. Shafter said, thanks for checking out Everglow. Can't wait for the future deep dives. You guys are getting deeper into K-pop. I would argue Alex is pretty far in the hole.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Alex is in the hole. I am not. So
I
I'm
don't know if
kind
you can see the bookshelf behind me
of and the posters.
and the posters, but I'll just
He's
say
a stan.
that's not the only bookshelf full of K-pop albums in my room either.
Yeah.
I'm deep in.
Also, I think a good mention as well. We do plan on doing some legacy groups if you guys are interested in that. I know there are some groups that just obviously have a level of familiarity, amongst it. So would love to see again some other ones that we're not familiar with. So I mean, there's some OG groups that I know the name, but I don't think I've actually listened to them. So I'd love to maybe get into some OG groups that you guys are fond of as well.
I would love to go through something like Girls' Generation or 4 Minute, or even not as old but older, CLC. I think those would be really fun. And Izzy commented, we had ITZY in one of our polls.
We did, yeah.
Their favorite alongside Purple Kiss. So Purple Kiss is definitely coming up.
Yes.
ITZY, we should do ITZY.
Okay. Maybe that'll be the next one then. Either ITZY or aespa.
ITZY did just have a comeback.
And Billy.
Yeah, maybe we'll do ITZY.
They'll say.
And Billy, I actually really agree. I think you would like Billy a lot. They're really fun.
Ooh.
They have a really cool like storytelling, darker concept to them as well.
Okay. Well, yeah, we got some more groups. We got some stuff.
Yeah, we'll put up a poll or two and see where that takes us.
Yeah, and if you have any guys groups as well, because I know primarily we've been doing a lot of girls group, and I know that that's more of Alex's forte and I am just a piece of marble being warped. So I don't know any of this shit. So for me, it's just a cool experience to kind of get into it and just understand more about it. Like, I think that's just been my exciting moments, because obviously I love listening to heavier music. That's kind of my forte. But getting into K-pop this year has been such a cool experience for me personally. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have a Korean flag here. So, like, my heritage is Korean. So it'd be cool to just learn more about that. So I appreciate you guys allowing me to join this world of insane music.
Shafter says CLC is a great shout, and you should check them out. I love CLC, so I would jump at the opportunity to do some sort of series about them on here, even if it's like a shorter kind of like 4 or 5 song kind of like mini series or something. I think they have a very, very interesting discography, so that'd be fun. And who are our biases in Everglow and Dreamcatcher?
Oh,
I
feel
can
like
start. Just say my
I'm gonna have to
Everglow
pull 'em up.
bias is my Everglow bias is Aisha, always has been, and then like a close second would be Anda, and then Dreamcatcher. I've always bounced around a little bit, but I would say it's Xi'an and Dami. It always kind of switches between Xi'an and Dami, but I'll say Xi'an for right now.
All right, I'm getting them pulled up, guys. Don't worry. I am not gonna look like a fake fan here.
I already
I'll
know
start-
yours. It's EU and Dami.
I was gonna say Dami is definitely for Dreamcatcher, and I would probably say I like Sua as well. I'll give her the shout. For
She's funny.
She is funny. They're all funny, actually, to be quite honest. I went back and watched some of the like vlog videos that they're doing now on the channel, and they're just so nice. They just seem so cool. So I love
they
it.
did a like IRL vlog video of them playing Among Us in real life.
No,
with each other.
I gotta
It's
watch that now.
It's so
I
funny.
gotta watch that. I love that. I will say, yeah, EU is my top bias for Everglow. Um, but I also really enjoyed who else? I don't know. Yeah, I probably say EU is probably my number one, and then maybe shortly followed by I would probably say Mia.
Mia is very talented.
Yeah, she's great. So
Um,
those are my
CLC is
biases.
great. Rip CLC, they deserve better. Yeah, honestly, fuck Cube. CLC
Oh
deserves so much better. Fuck Cube.
man,
Everybody is with me on that. No
Alex
one
is heated.
disagrees. They got shafted. It's crazy.
Oh,
And but you know, the girls are doing their things now. Shout out, Yayan, my CLC bias forever, killing it. She just made a. She was just in a competition show to form a new girl group,
oh, okay.
and she placed in it and is now part of the group. So shout out to her. For,
Very nice, very nice.
Still going for the dream, and she debuted as a solo artist too. So she's doing great. Soren's releasing music. They're all doing good.
And as you said, her biases are Guyon and Mia. So good picks. I like them. They're all great. So I feel like every time I do that, I'm like, I feel a little guilty because I'm like, I actually enjoy all of them.
Guyon and Mia, the small members.
The small members. Also, I figure we mentioned this before we end the stream. We do plan on doing Geon's, the solo material for twice.
Geo.
Sorry. I don't know why I said Geon. Geo's solo stuff. I don't know if there is a very high potential that it will get flagged by YouTube if we wind up doing like a live. Because I also know that came out today as well. So maybe we'll wind up doing like a review or something. But I think Alex may have already listened to it already. So maybe.
Sorry. I didn't listen to the Everglow. I had to listen to the Geo stuff.
Fair. I respect the move, but maybe I'll wind up listening to it. I kind of at least my plan for some of the stuff that I know might potentially get flagged is I might just have the YouTube video up and just like mute the audio where I'm listening to the song and then just kind of like give my thoughts in that distinct moment and just have it recorded. So that's the plan. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna try to have it out by Monday possibly. So I have some stuff I'm doing this weekend, but I plan on having it out as soon as I possibly or feasibly can do it. So very excited.
Yeah. Purple Kiss member also made it into the group. Yep.
Oh.
Yuki made it. Yuki is a rapper from Purple Kiss. She's insanely talented. She writes all her own raps. She's not even Korean's not even her first language. Just
Respect.
so good. Yeah, and Yuram from WJSN made it into the group as well. So people have been like fighting for that little group like Ye and Yuram, Yuki to make it in there. I think everyone's calling them like Triple Y. They're all very excited to be in the group together.
Oh.
So looking forward to that. Still don't really know how to pronounce the group name. It's like L's Up or something like that. They keep changing it, and it's like puzzle backwards because the show was called Queendom Puzzle. So they decided to just reverse the word puzzle, and they added like a plus sign into it and stuff. It was really, really odd.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting choice of names.
Yeah. There's been a lot of weird, questionable names for groups lately, but we'll tackle that when we get to them, I guess.
Well, I'm excited. Like I said, we have a couple coming down the pipeline. And if you guys like to see these more often, just let us know. I mean, we try to do them as frequently as possible. We did take a long break, but hopefully we'll be back at more of a consistent sort of basis. So,
Yeah, I think the idea will sort of be that we'll try to do something similar to what we did today, is like kind of cover a group, their discography on their comeback. So like we can do all of their songs leading
including
up
a new one
to the most recent one. But if there's groups that don't have comebacks coming up, or groups that like recently have had a comeback you want to see, like we can always, in between groups we are covering, like, go cover stuff. Or
Yeah.
maybe we could just do like a random
One-off
stream day. So there are definitely some newer groups too that don't have, I think, big enough discographies to do a deep dive on, but or have songs that I think are worth checking out. So
Yeah, we could always run through some of like the miscellaneous, like couple singles that groups have. But yeah, it's been good. It's been a good bit. I think we've kind of, I would argue we've covered a lot of ground in terms of the groups that we've had on, at least if we've deep dived in and talked about. So if you you're just tuning into this one, we also did Dreamcatcher, Pixie, and I think that's it. This is the third one, Everglow. So, and I also did a review of the New Jeans EP. So if you want to check that out, and I did twice, like last year. Yeah, there's a little bit of K-pop stuff, but I'm hoping to bring more of that to you guys. So, thank you for watching. Go check out Alex as well. He has a bunch of like fan cam stuff on his YouTube page. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, next one, we have no idea what we're gonna be doing next, but we got some new groups coming, and we hope you guys stick around for the next stream. Shafter, thank you for following. Thank you for because I don't think you've been in our chat before, so big salutes. Izzy, thank you for coming back. I know you've been in our chats before, so big salutes for coming back. And Jared, if you're still here, thank you for watching. I feel like you almost are legally obligated to show up in my chat. So, Omaze, shout outs. She's back.
hey, welcome back.
That's awesome. Lol, love when Koreans call them albums all my girl. That's awesome. That's great. I'm excited to listen to it.
Hey, you're not gonna catch me hating on the lyrics like everyone else for this song. That's the
There
big
was
thing I've seen around this song today is like I was not listening to it, and everyone's like, oh, the song's good, but the lyrics, what's going on with the lyrics? Hey, I'm staying out of it.
Don't do that. It's okay. It's fun.
Crazy, sexy, cool. Love it.
Yeah. Empowerment. It's great. Anyway, on that note, thank you for watching. Amazing. Go back in time and watch the whole stream if you want to. No one's forcing you to, but it'd be cool. So, thank you for watching, guys. Alex, thanks again for coming on again.
Thank you. Thanks for